Greetings to all viewers of Freedom TV channel. Thanks for joining us to watch and analyze the events happening in Ukraine and around the world. My name's Yuri Kulinich, and here are the top news stories at this hour. A morning attack on the city of Dnipro. As a result of a strike by a Russian drone, one person was killed, 4 were injured, and 3 of them have been hospitalized in moderate condition. As a result of the attack, shops and cars parked nearby caught fire in the city. 16 people were injured as a result of the Russian attack on Odessa. Among them is a 17-year-old teenager, according to the city military administration. The Russians struck residential neighborhoods and infrastructure. Various districts of the city came under fire, and both an apartment building and private homes were damaged. The strikes hit a parking lot and an administrative building. A residential building was hit, and a kindergarten building was also damaged. A fire broke out at the scene. Rescue workers and emergency services are working at the sites.
Everything was buried under debris. You couldn't get through here. We were also standing here for a while, right here, just a bit. The first wave passed. Then someone called, the kids were taken from here, and after that the second wave hit, but by then we had all gone down into the underground passage. At second wave, something either got shot down nearby or something, but it fell not far from here, though it didn't explode.
The explosion started. They just started going off. My husband opened the doors so they wouldn't get jammed shut. You open the doors, and that's when the explosion started. If the doors had been closed, we would have been trapped inside. I was standing here when it all started. I just happened to be here by some miracle, and my husband went out into the hallway, and that was it. But what if I had been in the kitchen or out on the balcony?
Two people were injured as a result of the Russian Federation's attack on the Sumy region, according to the National Police of Ukraine. Cars, a substation, and a private house were hit, apartment buildings were destroyed, and infrastructure facilities were damaged, including a school, a kindergarten, a cultural center, as well as an administrative building at a fire station. In addition, damage to a gas pipeline and a transformer was also recorded. Since the start of the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, Russian army losses have exceeded 1,330,000 servicemen. In the past 24 hours alone, 1,470 Russian invaders have been eliminated, according to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. In addition, the day before, Ukrainian soldiers destroyed 7 tanks, burned 7 armored combat vehicles, 119 artillery systems, and 1 multiple-launch rocket system, as well as destroyed 375 units of Russian automotive equipment. But the Ukrainian Navy struck Russian boats in the area of the Kerch Strait. According to the Navy, the FSB patrol boat Sobol and the anti-sabotage boat Voronezk were hit. Information about casualties is being clarified. The boats were also carrying out anti-sabotage defense missions. The Ukrainian Navy emphasized that this is yet another example of the effective work of the Ukrainian Navy and the consistent reduction of the enemy's capabilities in the Black Sea region. But new types of FPV drones have also been tested in Ukraine, according to Ukrainian Defense Ministry advisor Serhiy Beskrestov. The new drones will soon be sent to the front, and within a few months, the plan is to secure an area 100 to 150 kilometers from the border. Ukraine also plans to increase the number of long-range drone strikes. Ukraine will clarify with former U.S. President Trump's team the details of Russia's proposal for a short-term ceasefire on May 9th. President Volodymyr Zelensky has instructed the Ukrainian team to contact the Americans. According to him, Ukraine wants to understand the essence of this initiative. It could be about a short-term pause or broader agreements. Zelensky emphasized that Kiev is ready for negotiations, but the format must deliver real results. Ukraine is proposing a long-term ceasefire. In addition, Kiev insists on security guarantees and a lasting peace. Let me remind you that the day before, Russia claimed that Putin and Trump had a phone conversation during which the Kremlin dictator allegedly expressed his willingness to declare a ceasefire on May 9th. But the shift of U.S. attention to the Middle East also weakens the pressure on Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said this in an interview with Newsmax. Military aid to Ukraine from the United States continues. The country is also using European funds to purchase anti-missile systems. At the same time, the president emphasized that weapons deliveries alone are not enough and called for increased economic and political pressure on Russia.
We all want to stop this war. The problem is that the United States' priorities have now shifted to the Middle East. I'm afraid that if we just keep negotiating, Russia won't feel the most important thing that America can give us. Pressure on it? The United States can exert pressure through additional sanctions, but right now they're lifting them. Yes, because of the Middle East, and we can feel it. And of course I'm worried, because Russia doesn't feel any pressure, and for them it's normal to keep waging war this way. I hope that America will reinstate all the sanctions. Volodymyr Zelensky, president of Ukraine, in an interview with Newsmax.
They were among the first to stand up for Ukraine's defense in the early days of Russia's full-scale invasion and continue to guard the state border to this day. On April 30th, Ukraine celebrates Border Guard Day. For more than 9 years, a border guard with the call sign Hariton has been serving in the frontline area of Kharkiv region. The soldier became an aerial reconnaissance specialist, suffered a severe injury, went through rehabilitation, and returned to duty. The story of this Ukrainian defender is reported by Natalia Belakodria.
Guys, good afternoon. My call sign is Keratin, and I'll tell you a bit about using the Mavic, meaning how all of this works in combat conditions.
This is how the 29-year-old border guard with the call sign Keratin starts his lessons at the UAV operator school. He joined the state border guard service of Ukraine in 2018. During the full-scale Russian invasion, he defended Kharkiv in the region. In the winter of 2023, he was one of the first pilots to master flying the heavy bombers called Vampire, which the Russians nicknamed Baba Yaga.
A lot of important targets were destroyed. These were shelters. Sometimes dugouts would be blown to pieces. We forced their infantry to retreat from the front lines, from the line of contact. We worked every night.
Show the Vampire?
Show the Vampire. Lift it up. Yeah, that's it. It should land somewhere over there. There goes. Just like that. Little back.
Until the spring of 2025, Keratin and his comrades successfully carried out combat missions in the Kharkiv direction and increased enemy losses. But on March 19th, during a combat operation, their position came under fire. The soldier was seriously wounded. His fellow soldiers evacuated him from the front line.
I ended up at the stabilization point, and because I had lost so much blood, I actually started to feel pretty good there. Everything was fine, cold sweat, nothing hurt anymore. And after that, there were doctors. So I'm lying there, my hands are tied, and there's a girl standing over me asking questions. Who are you? What are you? She writes it all down on a piece of paper. And I'm just looking at her, such blue eyes, and I tell her, I'm gonna bite your nose right now. You have such beautiful eyes. The whole stabilization point was laughing. They said, yeah, we've never had anyone like this before.
After the amputation of his arm and leg, the border guard spent a year undergoing treatment and rehabilitation. He quickly got up on his prosthetic and returned to his unit in Kharkiv, where they were already waiting for him as a drone systems instructor.
He demonstrates, you could say, shares his experience so the guys understand, first and foremost, how things really happen at the positions, not just what's written in the books.
Ihor is 25 years old. He was mobilized just recently, joined the border guards, and even before completing basic military training at the training ground, he's already learning to be a UAV pilot, practicing on a simulator.
Try flying through slowly.
Come on, try to get past this obstacle slowly. There you go, good job. Right now the guys are practicing FPV piloting on the simulator. They're doing pretty well. We still need more because it's important for all of us. We still need to train, but it's not that hard.
For his courage in guarding the state border and defending Ukraine, Keratin received state awards from the President of Ukraine and distinctions for his service. Despite his injury, he's ready to keep carrying out combat missions and bring Ukraine closer to victory. Natalia Belakodria, Andrei Domovi from Kharkiv region, reporting for Freedom TV channel.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.